Hello, welcome back to our class. Now, we have learned all the strokes and we are almost prepared to learn the conversations or passages. But before we go into them, we still need to learn one more lesson about the rules. That is, the rules of how a Chinese character is formed. We already knew the strokes. Now today, we are going to learn the orders when they're used to write a character. Before we get into the details, I should put this ahead. That is, there are other orders more than the rules we learn today. But these basic rules we learn will help us to write most of the characters. However, there are always exceptions. We will talk about them when we meet some. Now, let's take a look at rule number 1. It indicates that horizontal should be for the vertical. 先横后竖. 先 means something that is in the first place. 后 means in the second place. So 先横后竖 means first we write the horizontal 横, then we write the vertical 竖. We have two example characters here. The first one is 10, which means 10 in English. To write 10, you write the 横 first, then the 竖. In Chinese, we usually read them like this: 一横一竖. Here we use 一, which literally means one in English, to indicate that the stroke is one horizontal or one vertical. This is how we split a Chinese character. Now, let's take a look at the second one. The second example is 干, which is a multiple meaning word, and the commonly used meaning is dry. To write this character, we write it in this way: 一横一横一竖. Rule number 2. Throw away before press down. 先撇后捺. That is, when we write a character, we write the throw away first, then the press down. The first example is 8, which means 8 in English. We should write it in this way: 一撇一捺. The second example is 10. The correct order for writing this character is 一横一横一撇一捺. It is simple, right? Now, you already learned 2 characters. Rule number 3. From top to bottom. 从上到下. The expression 从 something 到 something means from something to something. 上 means the top position and 下 means the bottom position. So, 从上到下 is from the top to the bottom. This is another rule when we write the characters. Here is the first example: 3, which means the number 3. We should write it this way: 一横一横一横. Now, let's take a look at the second example. It's called 早, which means early in English. To write 早, the strokes order should be 一竖一横者一横一横一横一竖. Rule number 4. From left to right. 从左到右. 左 means left. 右 means right. So, here's the first example of 从左到右. It's called 地 in Chinese, which means earth. But actually it has multiple meanings as well. We will not be learning the meanings at the moment. We should learn the order of the strokes. It should be 一横一竖一提一横折钩一竖一竖弯钩. Now, let's take a look at the second example. It's called 说 in Chinese, which is say or speak in English. The correct order of strokes for 说 is 一点一横折提一点一点 一竖，一横折，一横，一撇，一竖弯钩。Rule number 5. From outside to inside. 从外到内。外 means outside. 内 means inside. In this order, we write the outside first, then the inside. The first example is called 同, which means width. Now, let's take a look at the strokes order. 一竖，一横折钩，一横，一竖，一横折，一横。The next example is 向, which means toward. To write this character, we need to write it in this way. 一撇，一竖，一横折钩，一竖，一横折，一横。Number 6. From inside to outside. 从内到外。This is the opposite of the previous one. The reason for this is simple. Because when we write characters, we need to make it in a stable state. This kind of characters can be written better from inside to outside. Here's the first example. 山, which means mountain. The order should be 一竖，一竖折，一竖。Now, let's take a look at the second example. It's called 这, which means this. The correct order for this character is 一点，一横，一撇，一点，一点，一横折折撇，一捺。Rule number 7. Inside before ceiling. 先里头后封口。里头 means inside, the same as 内。封口 means ceiling. We have those characters look like something inside a square, so this type of characters should abide by this rule. Let's take a look at the first example. 日, which means the sun. The correct order is 一竖，一横折，一横，一横。Now, the second one is 园, which means garden. We should write this character in this way. 一竖，一横折，一横，一横，一撇，一竖弯钩，一横。This means we finish the inside first, then we seal the square at last. Rule number 8. Middle before sides. 先中间，后两边。中间 means the middle, and 两边 means both sides. Usually, we write from the left side to the right side. Some characters are in the pattern of left, middle, right, so these characters should obey this rule. Let's take a look at the first example, 小, which means small. The order should be 一竖钩，一撇，一点。Now, let's take a look at the second example, 水, which means water. The correct order should be 一竖钩，一横撇，一撇，一捺。Okay, these are the rules we should keep in mind, and we have the homework for you. You should imitate the characters and orders I gave you, and write at least 2 times of these characters. After you finish the homework, send me the pictures. That's all for our lesson today. So far, we already learned how to pronounce and write the characters in Chinese. Theoretically, you can now read every Chinese word, but I know you will meet difficulties. No worries, just add me on WeChat and WhatsApp for help. In the next week, we will learn some useful words, and then later, we will be learning the conversations and passages. See you in the next lesson.